What up, pre-calculus students? All we're doing is like trigonometry without a calculator, radians without a calculator, drawing the triangles with a hypotenuse of 1 based on that radian location and the reference angle. That's all we're doing, okay? When we get to the second page, we'll talk more about it next class. I didn't really get to it in class. It's no big deal. So we know pi over 3 is 60 degrees. How do we know pi over 3 is 60 degrees? You should always be able to do this and check yourself. Like, 360 degrees is the same as 2 pi radians, right? Distance around a unit circle. Distance is a circumference 2 pi times r. So 2 pi, 360 degrees. 180 degrees, pi. Divide that by 3. You get pi over 3. 180 divided by 3 is 60. Okay? Divide this by 6. You get pi over 6. 180 divided by 6, 30. Okay? And then we got pi over 4. Divide this by 4. 180 divided by 4 turns out 45. Cool? Cool. So what we're going to do is say, all right, 60 degrees. Here's 0, right? 60 degrees. It'll be a little probably exaggerated with that. And you say, okay, that's 60 degrees. Now, no longer do I care about you doing the directional rotation. I just care about the reference angle at the x-axis. And put it in degrees. It's fine. It's fine. And then what we're going to do is pretend this is a triangle that's created with the x-axis, not the y-axis. It's always reference to the x-axis. And the hypotenuse of this triangle is 1. That helps us with all of our calculations when it's like this. And we already discovered that your 30, 60, 90 triangle has side lengths of 1/2 and root 3 over 2. Okay, we use the Pythagorean theorem and we prove that. But where does which one go? What I need you to remember is that root 3, which is bigger than 1 times 1, like 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4. So 3 is somewhere between that. There's some number times itself that'll get you 3 that's bigger than 1 but less than 2. So root 3, which is 1.7, is bigger than 1. So root 3 over 2 has got to be bigger than 1/2. So it's the longer side, and the 1/2 is the shorter. All right, so label that. Now, once we get out of the first quadrant, we're going to care about this being an x and a y axis, which means, going to the right, positive, but to the left, negative. Going up, positive. Going down, negative. And that's it. We're just going to stop there. If I orient this triangle where it's a 30-degree reference angle, is pi over 6, then we'd see the longer side would be on the bottom, and the shorter side would be the vertical. All right, how do we get to 2 pi over 3? Well, let's do the 45. Pi over 4. 45. Hypotenuse is 1. Forgot to label that over there. Hypotenuse is 1. We talked about the side lengths are root 2 over 2. And it's just something you'll just know. You could prove it yourself using the Pythagorean theorem. And just write the reference angle that you know. All right, but now once we get out of the first quadrant, here's how we find it. We don't convert, okay? We don't say, hey, 2 pi over 3, let's multiply that by 180 over pi. No. Easiest way to do it is to use what it's close to. This is 1 pi over 3 less than 3 pi over 3. That's easy enough to do, right? 3 pi over 3 minus pi over 3 is 2 pi over 3. Okay, well, 3 pi over 3 is pi. So there's 3 pi over 3. But now I have to subtract. All right, remember, when you start at 0, how do we add angles? We start here and then boom, adding angles by going counterclockwise. So if I'm going counterclockwise, I'm adding angles, going counterclockwise, and adding angles. Going clockwise, we go to the negative angles. Well, that's the same as subtracting angles, going in a negative direction. That would be subtracting. So Knowing that pi over 3 is 60 degrees, I want to go 60 degrees less than 180 degrees. I want pi over 3 less than 3 pi over 3. So, boom, I'm here. This reference angle is 60 degrees. This is all I care about. And then here's my 30, 60, 90 triangle. Side length root 3 over 2 is the longer side length. I can see the longer side length. Shorter side length 1/2. But I'm going to be careful because I'm going to the left. I'm going to say that half is negative. Okay. 5 pi over 6 is 1 pi over 6 less than 6 pi over 6. Pi over 6 being 30 degrees, I need to go 30 degrees away from 6 pi over 6, which is pi. So that way is subtracting, boom. There is 30 degrees. If this hypotenuse is 1, it creates a 30, 60, 90 shorter triangle where the smaller side is the vertical side length and the longer side is the horizontal. Make sure we pay attention to the fact that that's going to be negative because we're going to the left. Ooh, 5 pi over 3. Two ways to do it. You can either say, okay, I am 3 pi over 3 plus 2 pi over 3s. Well, if like 1 pi over 3 is 60, 2 pi over 3 must be 60 plus 60, 120. So I can go to 3 pi over 3 and add 120 degrees if I wanted to. I probably would prefer saying, well, I know it's 1 pi over 3 less than 6 pi over 3. Now, what's 6 pi over 3? 6 pi over 3 is the same as 2 pi. So, like, 2 pi is all the way around my circle, right? But I want 1 pi over 3 less. I want 6 degrees less. So I'm right there. Not converting anything, not doing anything crazy. But now, be careful. This is my reference angle, 60 degrees. Draw your triangle at the x-axis. That's the theorem that, like, it's required. It's not this angle, it's this angle. Then we got a longer side and a shorter side. It's a 30, 60, 90. Here's my shorter side, which is 1/2, and the longer side, root 3 over 2. Why? Because root 3 is bigger than 1. But I'm going down, so I'm going to label this as negative. 3 pi over 4, and 1 pi over 4 less than 4 pi over 4. Here's 4 pi over 4. Subtract that way. Pi over 4, 45 degrees. Boom. Okay? You can figure out this stuff. You can figure out 45 degrees. Don't have to convert anything. It's actually easier. All right, so there's 45-degree reference angle. 45, 45, 90 triangle, hypotenuse 1. I keep forgetting the hypotenuse is 1. There's a reason why I keep forgetting it. We'll see it next class. I go to the left. I'm going up. Good. 7 pi over 6. All right, well, I'm 1 pi over 6 more than 6 pi over 6. All right, well, I know where 6 pi over 6 is. It's right here. It's the same as pi. Pi over 6, 30 degrees. More than that direction. Boom. Here's my 30 degrees more than. Here's my triangle. Hypotenuse 1, 30, 60, 90 triangle. Going to the left. The longer side going down the shorter side. Okay, longer sides, shorter sides. All you got to remember at that 30, 60, 90. 4 pi over 3. Well, I know where 3 pi over 3 is. I got to go 1 more pi over 3. Well, pi over 3 is 60 degrees. So 3 pi over 3 plus 60 degrees. Boom, plus 60 degrees. Create. I always do like 60 degrees, 60 degrees. Create my triangle. And going to the left. I'm going down. Shorter, longer. You can see it. Shorter, longer. Root 3 over 2 is longer. Direction matters. Cool. 5 pi over 4. 4 pi over 4 plus 45 degrees. Right there. Here's 4 pi over 4. Boom. 1. 45. Root 2 over 2. But I'm going left. Root 2 over 2. But I'm going down. 7 pi over 4. It's really close to 8 pi over 4. It's a lot easier to do 8 pi over 4 minus a pi over 4. So subtract 45 degrees, then to do 4 pi over 4, and then add 1, 2, 3 pi over 4. So 4 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4. You could do it. Add 45, 45, 45. You get to 45 degrees past 270, but whatever. I mean, you could do it 45, 45, 45. But easier to do 2 pi, which is 8 pi over 4. Subtract, this way is subtracting 45 degrees. Okay? I'm going to the right, I'm going down. There go side links. Hypotenuse 1. Negative 2 pi over 3. Ooh! Ready? This is negative 3 pi over 3's plus a pi over 3, right? Right? Or you can just do negative 1, negative 2 pi over 3. 120, like 260s. It's easy. But watch this. Here I start at 0. I go to negative 3 pi over 3. It's the same location as pi. They're coterminal. But then I'm going to add a pi over 3. Boom. Maybe you go that way. Maybe you do that. To the left, less. Then you go down. Left and down. Boom. 11 pi over 6. Well, it's 1 pi over 6 less than 12 pi over 6. Pi over 6 is just 30 degrees. So go around to 360 degrees, subtract 30 degrees, boom. I don't care about the rotational. I just care about the reference because I want to create the triangle. I get positive longer side on the adjacent. I just said adjacent because we're going to be doing that in the future. And then the vertical side going down. Negative 13 pi over 4. Well, like, let's, I don't know. What are you close to? I'm close to negative 12 pi over 4. Why do I pick 12 pi over 4? Because it's like a whole number. It's negative 3. So I got to add a negative pi over 4. Okay, now I got to know where negative 3 pi is. And that's a little bit tricky. Some people did this on their quiz. They were like 6. Like I asked you, where's 6 radians? And you did 6 pi's. But it's very easy, right? Every pi is 180 degrees. So like this is negative 1 pi's, negative 2 pi's, negative 3 pi's, right? Every pi is 180 degrees. Just go 180 degrees 3 times and you end up over there. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's not that bad. So here is negative 12 pi's over 4. I need to add a negative pi over 4. Just be careful. Maybe it's easier to say subtract a pi over 4. I don't like subtracting. I've told you this before, but in this case, remembering adding. But if you added a negative, you're actually subtracting. Negative direction this way. 45 degrees more than negative 3 pi, maybe. I don't know. A little bit too much, but 45 degrees, right? 45 reference angle, hypotenuse 1. I keep forgetting that. There's a reason why I keep forgetting it. Because in the end, it's not going to make a difference. And then root 2 over 2, that's positive here. Negative root 2 over 2 here. 17 pi over 6. I know where 18 pi over 6 is. Right? I'm going to subtract a pi over 6. 18 pi over 6 is 3 pi. Every pi is 180 degrees. So ready? Here's 0, 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi. So here's 18 pi over 6's. Subtract a pi over 6. Boom. 17 pi over 6. I don't care about how many rotations. I just end up there. There's my terminal side. Hypotenuse 1. I know it's a 30 degree shorter 30, 60, 90 triangle. Going to the left, going up. Longer side, shorter side. We should be good with that. Negative 7 pi over 3. I'm going to go to negative 6 pi over 3. And then I'm going to subtract a pi over 3. Add a negative, subtract. Negative 6 pi over 3 is negative 2 pi. So negative 1, negative 2. And then subtract. Subtracting going this way. All right? Pi over 3, 60 degrees. 60 degrees. 6 degrees to the right down. Okay. Um, where do these side links come from? If you weren't in class, you got to watch the video for where those side links come from. Um, but we use the Pythagorean theorem to show that for a 30, 60, 90 triangle, depending on its orientation, it's like it could be taller or shorter. We have a longer side here, we have a shorter side here. And then if it's a 45, 45, 90, we got that. And we use the Pythagorean theorem to find that. So that's where all these side lengths come from. And then direction matters on the XY axis, just like we had on our homework and our quiz with our right triangles and SOHCAHTOA. All right, now I'm going to do this, and we didn't do this in class, and we're going to talk about it more in class on Tuesday, but I hope this makes sense what I'm about to do, okay? We're going to locate the angle, and actually, since you can't create really a triangle with the x-axis, I'm just going to leave it. Maybe I'll highlight where it is. So pi over 2 we know is 90 degrees. How do we know pi over 2 is 90 degrees? It's like, well, pi is 180 divided by 2, right? Okay, so like here's 90 degrees. Now, a lot of us maybe try to create a triangle like this, but it's not what we want to do because then it looks like the 90 degrees here. So we're just going to leave this, okay? Now, we're going to pretend like, we're still on a unit circle. So this is still a circle. I don't know how that happened. All right. This is still a circle, and its radius is 1. Okay? So, like, all I want you to do is, like, tell me which direction do you travel to get to your location on the unit circle. It's going to get to this point here. All the other ones we were, like, traveling left and up, and right and down. Here, I'm just going up, right? All I want you to do is, like, say, you know what? You go up 1. Sorry. Right, does that make sense? Up 1, I'll say like that 1's positive because I'm going up. Do you go to the left and right at all? Is there any like x distance? Nope. Left and right 0. That's all I want you to do. And you're going to do that in all these locations. So like 2 pi, 0 all the way around to 2 pi. You can't really create a triangle here either. But you're going to pretend like there is a circle here. Wow, what is that? What's going on there? There it is. And it's the unit circle. And it's like, how did you travel to get there? Like what did you do? Well, it's like I went to the right 1, right? Or I have a positive x distance of 1. Like this is my y-axis. I'm on my y-axis going up 1. Here, I'm just on my x-axis. I don't go up or down at all. Okay? I'm just going to leave it like that. 3 pi over 2 is 3 pi over 2's. Or it's like 1 pi over 2 more than pi. Pi plus pi over 2, right? Pi plus 90 degrees. That's, maybe. And you know how to find, like, you got to be comfortable taking 180 and dividing it, or taking pi, dividing it by 6, same as 180 dividing it by 6. 180 divided by 6 is 30. Pi divided by 6 is pi over 6. Anyways, there's 3 pi over 2 down here. I'm not going to draw the circle, but pretend there's a circle there. Like, how far do we get to that point? Well, you go down 1. So I'm going to say that's like going -1. Like the vertical distance is 1. But I'm not going to the left or to the right at all. Okay? All right. That's it. The rest of them the same way. Pi's over here. I would go to the left 1. I would consider that going like negative. I'm not going up or down at all. 2 pi over here. I'm going to the right 1, positive direction. Not going up or down at all. What? Well, I don't know. What's negative pi over 2? Negative 3 pi over 2. Change that. Boom. Negative 3 pi over 2. Well, like negative pi minus a pi over 2 ends up at 90. Up 1, not going to the left or the right at all. Negative pi over 2, this direction 90 degrees from 0, that direction. Down 1, consider that negative on the y-axis. Not going to the left or to the right at all. 0, angle 0 is here. That's the angle 0. If this is a unit circle, I travel to the right 1, right? Not going up or down at all. Negative 3 pi, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3 pi. This is going to be important because we're going to deal with some trig functions at angles that don't create triangles. And it's like, what is that going to be? And we're going to see it's actually pretty simple if we understand um, what we're going to learn next class. Okay, but for right now, you just do that. We're good. That's your homework. I'm going to make sure your quiz is more oriented to you guys in my class, and we will do. We'll be with everybody else next class. Everything you'll be. It'll be in line with what they do too. Okay. Later.